Good morning, everyone. This is Patrick, and I am continuing with the 1-for-1 scale life-size Carnage / Mannequin project. I'm sure I got that title messed up, but anyway, you know what I'm talking about. You know what you came here to see. Has anyone ever tried these Killer Brew Monster coffee drinks? I haven't tried Monster's coffee in years. Last time I had one, it really didn't agree with me. So I'm going to see how this one does. I really need that boost because this project is taking on a life of its own, and it's taking a lot of my life. I'm spending a lot of time on it, more than I thought I would spend on it because, as I said when I started this project, I was doing this day by day. I had some initial tentative plans for it, but plans don't always go the way we plan. So things are going day by day now, and it's taking a lot of time. As a matter of fact, I've spent a little bit more money. I'm trying to keep my toes out of the video here. I spent some more money yesterday, and I'm trying to keep this on a low budget because I don't have a lot of money to put into it. And I have the running total that I spent so far, but I don't know where I put it. I'll try to include that somewhere in the video. So yesterday I picked up this rounded file right here. I already have a flat file, but some of these areas are hard to reach with the flat file. So I have that rounded file. I got this sanding block. I guess it's still called a sanding block. I have the old one right there, and that's a piece of crap. I don't know who came up with that stuff, or that thing right there, but it's easier to use your hand than to use that thing right there. And this right here is, I thought it would be better. Hold on. I thought it would be a lot better, but it's only a little better because you have to fight to get the sandpaper underneath those two clamps right there. That's a pain in the butt. Let me see, what else? Okay, I think that was it. Seemed like I picked up something else yesterday. Maybe it was the sandpaper. Yeah, I got more sandpaper. I think that's 60 grain, 60 grit right there to sand down some of this foaming spray foam. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of, to sand down this spray foam. And I'm going to be trying this Sculpey air dry clay. I've been trying to decide what type of clay I want to use. I've looked at kind of like a reddish brown type of clay. I think like terracotta or something like that. That's kind of pricey, so I'm trying not to use it. I've done some research on foaming clay. That looks like it would work, but it's also kind of pricey. So I'm gonna experiment with this Sculpey air dry clay today, see how well it adheres to the figure. And if it adheres okay, and if it doesn't crack and peel and all of that crazy stuff, I'll probably use that. So once I get all of this foam sanded down and shaped, or semi-shaped, because the final shape will be done, the final shaping will be done with the clay. So that's the plan. Also, okay, another word I invented. Also today, I think I'm going to go ahead and make the command decision. I will be using that partial mask for his teeth. What I'm going to do is, where am I? There I am. As you can see, it's too wide for his face. Hold on, let's zoom out a little. It's too wide for his face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this down the middle. Also, I'm going to split it from here, well, here and here. That way I can shape it. There I am. I can put it closer. That's not coming out right. It'll be closer to his face, and that will allow me to open the mouth or close it a little bit if I need to. Hope that came out right. So that's the plan for today. All right, folks, make sure you stay tuned. I will be back with more as soon as I have made some more progress. Oh, by the way, Manny's arms are right there. I'm still working on those. Still haven't figured out that right hand yet. I'm thinking about putting some claws or something on it. All right, we'll see. All right, stay tuned. All right, y'all, I want to show you what I did with the teeth, or rather the mouth, for this project I'm working on. As you know, this was a one solid piece, and I wanted to be able to open or close the teeth. Also, I wanted to be able to make it a little less wide, or I wanted to make it more flexible so that it would conform to the shape of his head. So what I did was, before I cut it with the hacksaw, as you can see the cut lines right there and right there, before I did that, I put some hot glue in these critical areas so that it wouldn't fall apart, and that's what allows it to flex like it does. Let me see, hard doing this with one hand. So it's somewhat flexible, and that should be enough flex to allow me to shape it to his head and get the mouth to where I want it to be. I think I need to put more hot glue on it though, because that looks a little weak. All right, folks, but that's where we are with the mouth. I think I'm going to just go ahead and, yeah, let me go ahead and do that. And this material, I believe this is resin. I think it was advertised as resin. I'm not sure. I got this on Etsy, and I got it quite a while ago. But anyway, it was not hard to cut through it. It was fairly easy. All right, folks, thanks for watching again. I'll be back with more. Bye. All right, this is where we are with Manny. I started a test yesterday with some air dry modeling clay. Not to be confused with regular air dry clay. There's a slight difference in the two. And if this holds up over, I guess, another day or two, I'll be using the air dry modeling clay as the final I'll be using that. That'll be what I use to cover this mannequin with. And before I get to the test results, I wanted to point out that I am still working on that right arm. I've always been a big fan of Freddy Krueger, one of the best horror characters around, in my opinion. I was about to say of all time, but I won't go that far. He's just one of the best. I like Freddy. So, in honor of Freddy, what I'm thinking about doing is giving Carnage the Freddy Krueger fingers. Let's take a closer look. And I made this from cardboard. I'm just trying to get an idea of what it would look like. I did price some Freddy Krueger claws online, but most of the nice ones are really expensive, so this is my best bet here to keep this budget from getting out of control on this project. I'll just have to do it this way. Not sure if I'll use cardboard. I'm considering that. Maybe use cardboard and coat it with some clay or something else. Not sure. Maybe even coat it with foam and then shape them and then make them thinner. I don't know. Also considering putting something on his elbow. Not sure what you would call it, but some type of blade weapon or something. Okay, now let's talk about the test results. It's been over 24 hours since I applied this. Now on the head, it came off of the head after a few hours. It was right here, and I guess it was just too smooth. There was nothing for that clay to grab onto, so it came off. Now what I could do is, probably what I will do is rough this up a little bit so it will stick to it. I'll see. Okay, so right here on this test spot, I adhered it to, or stuck it to, the skin of the mannequin, and it's on there firmly. I don't think it's going anywhere, but again, I'm going to give it some more time to make sure there are no cracks in it. It's sticking pretty good. All right, now here on the chest, on this part of the chest, this was the rough area as opposed to the smooth area. Had a lot of deep gouges in the styrofoam. I put it into those gouges and it's holding up pretty good. It's not loose, it's not cracking. It's firmly holding on, so that's a good sign. Okay, I'm about to apply some more air dry modeling clay, and I'm gonna rough this up. It's already a little bit rough here, as you can see. I think I'm gonna rough up this smooth part, or this semi-smooth part, apply some clay here, apply some more up on the plastic part, and see how that holds up in the next 24 hours. All right, that's it for now, folks. Oh, let's talk about his grill for a moment. Yesterday, I put some hot glue right here where I cut the face mask, here, and on each side. I put some hot glue to hold it together, and that allowed me to open and close it a little bit. Well, the hot glue did not stick. It came off, so I had to use some glue, take two. So I had to put some tape on there to hold it in place. And I had to use super glue to hold the tape because the tape wouldn't stick to this thing. But the super glue seems to be doing pretty good. It hasn't come loose. So that's it for now, folks. I'll be back with more. Stay tuned. This is an update on the clay situation. I am conducting tests with this Sculpey air dry clay. I have placed it. I've placed a small piece here on this foam, and this piece of foam, there I am. This piece of foam is relatively smooth, so I wanted to test it on that to see how well it's going to stay on there. Also, right here on it, where I am, there you go. I have some on this foam, and this is relatively rough, so I want to test it on the rough and the smooth foam, see how well it's going to do. Also, right there on the plastic, I want to see how well it's going to stick to that. So I'll give this a few hours, see what it does, see if it peels off or falls off. And if it does okay, then that will be the clay I'll be using on the entire project. If not, I'll try some other clays until I find something that sticks. See what I did there? All right, folks, I'll be back with more. By the way, just for the record, the time is, it's about 11:15 a.m. I want to see how long it's going to take it to dry.